Well, good morning, our beloveds. We have another wonderful message for you today on the Pause and Rest series. How does it feel when you pause, when you choose consciously to pause, to say, something here is triggering me, something here is angering me, something here feels off. How many of you let loose, let go, let God flow through you as you see it? And how many of you say, well, I'm really reactive right now, and let me go back and think. I'll get back to you in 5 minutes when I've given this some thought, because I don't think the reaction that I'm going to give you is really what I want to say, and I have a funny feeling that it'll burn some bridges. So just give me a few minutes so I can figure out why I feel as I do, and then I'll come back. And I'll give you a response. I promise I won't ignore you, but I need to figure this thing out first. How many of you are that honest in your response? Now, obviously, if you are driving down the highway of life and somebody cuts you off and you want to flip them off or not, well, you have just that momentary response to either do it or not, right, or to honk your horn. But you don't have the luxury of saying, just give me a couple of minutes and I'll come back. I'll be back with you. But what about those people who are dear in your life? Your family, your friends, your acquaintances, your coworkers, your lover, right? How many of you react before you think, before you process, before you understand? And therein lies the simple answer or solution to how humanity becomes one again. When you begin to realize how you react is a template of your inner wounds, your inner traumas, your inner hurts, your inner respective losses. It's all there once you just do a little dive, and it doesn't honestly take much time or effort to figure this out. Oftentimes after you are very reactive and you have a bit of time to reflect, you think, oh wow, that's just because of fill in the blank, right? And then you have some regrets. And then some of you, though not all of you, go back to that individual harmed and say, I'm really sorry for what I said. That actually had nothing to do with you, and I'm really sorry. But once you've done that, you've now traumatized or hurt or created a loss in the other person. So it would be better for you to reflect before you speak. And then what about where you simply don't ever apologize or take responsibility or acknowledge what you have done as not having anything to do with the other person, and you let that other person carry that guilt or that shame that they then feel within themselves? Do you see the ripple effect? Every time you yell at someone, it is like dropping a stone or a pebble into a completely still pond. It is the butterfly effect. It can go out for miles and miles and miles, and not only is it the visual, but it's the vibrational shift, because you all only see the ripple effect above or on the surface. What about what it does down below? It also has a vibrational effect or impact on the water below, where there's movement all the way to the bottom. And then there's the pebble itself. It may bunk somebody on the head and hurt them. fish, a crab, or whatever. Do you see what we're saying? Every time you toss a stone, a pebble, an object, because you cannot control your own reactivity, well, it causes harm. So what if you all just say, I'm going to give myself a timeout between 5 minutes and 5 days, where you adjust the appropriateness of the time based on the importance of what it is that you are to say. Our another and her former partner were taught that you could take up to 3 days to give some thought to something because it mattered. But it only works if you actually come back within that time frame. If you tell your partner, I'm taking a time out, but choose never to respond, that is also disrespectful because it teaches the other person, well, I don't have to hear you. I don't have to see you. I don't have to respect you. I don't have to react or respond to you in any form. If it's something that I just don't like, I will just simply say, I'm giving myself a timeout. But then I'm not coming back because I don't want to. Now that also is not healthy because that also teaches someone that you don't value their words, their feelings, their inner queries. If you all could just simply sit down with one another in a vulnerable space and say, I am really doing the best that I can right now, and I really want to make this work, but I'm just not certain how to right now because I am so overstimulated, overly emotional. I'm feeling highly dysregulated. I'm feeling like I can't handle another thing on my pile of responsibilities. And I just feel like it's all going to fall apart. If you all could just be honest and say things like that instead of pretending that you all have it together and that you're this pillar of stability and emotional vacuum, meaning that there's just nothing there. You just suck in everything, but it's just a vacuum where it can continue to be filled and filled and filled, but you never give anything back. It's okay to be broken. It is okay to be hurt. It is okay to be unstable. And it is okay to be discerning in how you want to converse with others. But it is not okay to neglect the emotional needs of people who are important in your life. It is not okay to discriminate when you choose to respond and when you don't. It is not okay to intentionally hurt other people because it somehow serves you. It's not okay to continue to say, I'm going to put my head in the sand because I just can't deal with this. It's overwhelming. You must acknowledge to the others around you how you are feeling and what you propose to do about it, and then work on a common solution. The only thing that is honestly missing in this construct of humanity right now is good and clear and healthy communication. It is not what you say, it is how you say it. You can express what you need to, but in a way that is not damaging, or is at least less damaging than what it is that you learned in your youth or in your traumatized times. Becoming the best version of you requires insight and intimate understanding of what your needs are. And for most of you, you have never actually been taught what this is. You think your needs are to have money and power and wealth and prestige, but it's actually that you want to be valued and seen and loved, and you think those other things will buy you the place or the status in society so that you will be offered these. But no, you will find only those who wish to have a bling on their arm of sorts because you meet the fashionable needs of what it looks like to be successful instead of what it looks like to be vulnerable and authentic. So just give it another thought, another go. And today, we just ask that you pause. You pause in that moment when you want to say something that comes from a place of aggression and anger and feeling not heard. And just sit with it for a bit and observe how it feels within your body when you don't do anything other than observe it and say, tell me what you want me to know about why you're feeling this way. And it will shift, and it will change, and it will allow you to see the vulnerable wound underneath these scars, the scabs, or the coverings that you have placed upon it to protect you from getting hurt by others. You will see what you see when you begin to look for what you have denied for so long. It's just pain. It's just pain that you all are hiding from, the pain of feeling not good enough in some sense. And so it is. Namaste.